संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। पवित्रं चरितं यस्याः पवित्रं जीवनं तथा पवित्रतास्वरूपिण्यै तस्यै कुर्मो नमो नमः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। ओम सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। Today is Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga. In the last class, we were discussing on the chapter, we help ourselves, not the world. So in the beginning, Swamiji begins with the explanation of the religion, where every religion has got three parts: philosophy, mythology and ritual. Now, giving such an introduction, he starts explaining what you mean by ritual. Because ritual, meaning of ritual is concretized philosophy, where we actually perform something. It's not just abstract concept. Of course, based on abstract concept, but the ritual itself is the performing of actions, hence it is called concretized philosophy. This ritual becomes karma. Now, in trying to explain this ritual, Swamiji made such a wonderful, beautiful explanation of symbols, where Swamiji says, from time immemorial, symbols have been used by all kinds of religion. Then he makes very good statement. Words themselves are symbols of thought. If you want to put it the other way, every word is a symbol of thought. So every word becomes a symbol. It is the symbol of thought. You have to think deeply on all these points, slowly. I can just mention it. But all these points of Swamiji should be pondered upon to understand the depth of its meaning. Every word is a symbol of thought. Because when you say further in the explanation of symbology, what Swamiji told, in the words ritualistic symbols, we have expression of the religious thought of humanity. If you can see the symbol of a particular religion, you can understand the humanity regarding the religious development. In the same way, if we can observe the words and thought, we can understand the evolution of particular mind. When a particular symbol represents a religious development of the particular humanity, if you replace it for an individual, then our thought and the symbols inside the mind represents our depth in spirituality. That's why you have to ponder upon every point. Words themselves are symbols of thought. In another sense, everything in the universe may be looked upon as a symbol. Because everything that you express through words and thought. The thought is expressed through words. So in that sense, you express everything in this world through every object in this world through words. So every object in this world becomes a symbol of God. So he explains, I have explained regarding this circle, cross, I gave the example of saligrama, etc. And then he gave further explanations, and concluding regarding the symbology, Swami said, it is not wise to ignore rituals and symbology altogether. The study and practice of these things form naturally a part of Karma Yoga. The study and practice of these things, meaning this symbology related to rituals, becomes science of Karma Yoga. Why? Because that is also a part of karma. So many families are involved only in the ritualistic observation of particular religion. So, if you are performing particular rituals every day, we should understand the science behind that rituals, because performing of those actions also becomes a part of Karma Yoga. Because Swamiji is giving, as I told you in the earlier class itself, here Swamiji is trying to give a comprehensive idea of whole Karma Yoga. Generally, we don't mean rituals also as part of Karma Yoga. But Swamiji is bringing the idea of symbology, language, development, rituals also being a form of Karma Yoga. Now, continuing today, now he takes the second aspect. This symbology and ritual was the first part of Karma Yoga. Now, Swamiji deals with the second part now. What is the second part? There are many other aspects of this science of work. What is that? One among them is to know the relation between thought and word. Generally, we think that just performing actions unattached or trying to do unselfish work only or itself is sufficient for a karma yogin. But Swamiji is bringing one more idea, that one should understand the relation between thought and word. And what can be achieved by the power of the word? In every religion, the power of word is recognized. Because especially, even in Vedas, even Spotavada, creation, whole creation came out this word. Even in Christianity, even Swami Yatishwaranji has quoted this in Meditation and Spiritual Life under the power of word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word was made flesh. It comes in St. John Bible. There are 4 Bibles. In the St. John Bible, you come across this idea of Word and connected with God. Even in Veda, how does Brahma bring out this Word? Or the creation, we don't use the word creation, it is only projection, as Swami Vivekananda has pointed out. Anyhow, we are used to use the word creation. Srishti, not Srishti. What do you mean by Srishti? It's the projection. So, how does Brahma create this word? First he will utter Gauhu. He will utter the word first. And creates Gauhu, cow. Cow, word comes first, object comes second. Then they ask, how do you know that Gauhu means this particular cow only? He remembers because of his previous creation in the previous cycle. From the previous cycle, he has created the Gauhu. In the present cycle, here he will utter the word first. Gauhu, Manavaha, ityadi. Then he creates. So, word comes first, object comes second. That's why we have to understand the relation between thought and word. The word is very powerful. The external aspect of the thought of the God is the word. The external person. What do you mean by this? The external aspect of the thought of God is the word. And as God thought and willed before he created, creation came out of the word. In this stress and hurry of our materialistic life, our nerves lose sensibility and become hardened. Means we don't understand this sensibility of the power of the word. The external aspect of the thought of God is the word. What do you mean by the external thought aspect of the thought of God is the word? You personify the infinite or the Nirakara Brahman by guna. When you try to eulogize or if you want to worship a God, how do you do it? By gunas, by giving a akara. So that becomes the external aspect of the thought of God, which is the word. How do you represent those ideas? Through words. Sashakta, he is Sarvavyapi, Sarvagna, Ananta Guna Sampanna. These are all the external aspect of God which represents through words. So, that word you define of the God is the word. And as God thought and willed before He created, creation came out of the word. As I gave the example of Brahman, repeating Gauhu first and then creating cow. So, the very first thing to understand all these ideas is the first step in acquisition of light. How to understand the relationship between the thought and the word, and to know this word connected to God, etc. The first condition to understand this in the acquisition of light is, what do you mean? Wondering thus is the first step. First you should feel the wondering or the wonderful things that are there in the word. You are wondered, seeing the things of the word, and the jignasa arises in the mind. What is this? It is the first step towards acquisition of the light. What is that light? To know this word. What is this word? Nothing but God. So, the very first step is jignasa. Gnatum icha jignasa. You should have that icha. How this icha arose? Through the curiosity, wondering, seeing this word as so wonderful. Then you try to know the meaning behind this word. So, Swamiji says, I am talking to you, and the sound vibrations entering your ears and creating a thought wave, so that there are a lot of reactions as a reaction to the words that you have heard. You cannot resist that. Suppose you are also sitting here, hearing this lecture, you are hearing so many words, that is creating so many reactions in your brain as thoughts, which you cannot resist. That is the power of the word. That's why Swamiji says, if one man calls another a fool, immediately the other man clenches his fist and lands a blow on his nose. That is the power of the word. These are all common words, not speaking of Veda. These are all common words. Swamiji gives one more example. A woman is sitting and miserable and weeping. One more woman comes and gives a soothing words to her ears, and suddenly her weeping starts and her misery is stopped by the words uttered by that lady out of love and sympathy. So, to her a few become straightened at once, her sorrow is gone and she already begins to smile. Think of the power of words. Regarding words, Swamiji concludes, there are a great force in higher philosophy as well as in common life. Day and night we manipulate this force without thought and without inquiry. To know the nature of this force and to use it well is also a part of Karma Yoga. Words have great power. To know the science and use it properly, that is a force. Usage of words is a force that we handle every day without knowledge of that force. So, knowing how to use those words, for our understanding, you can even put this word as mantra that we have received through our mantra diksha. Every day we are using that force, still weeping in misery. Swamiji, ఏమీ ఆయలేదు, ఎట్లా అవుతుంది తెలియదు కదా force. So every day we are using that force, but unaware of the philosophy or the power of the words. That's why Swamiji says, day and night we manipulate this force without thought and without inquiry. To know the nature of this force and to use it well is also a part of Karma Yoga. Swamiji began in explaining duty. But when he started, we help ourselves, not the word. He gave the idea of rituals connected with symbols also. In the second part, he is drawing our attention towards the power of words, which you know very well. So many things are connected, hidden in this, including Vedas, all our mantra shastras, and the way we utter words in handling people outside the word. Many things we know. You bring all those ideas here. So, now Swamiji says to understand the connection between the thought and word is also a part of Karma Yoga. So, a Karma Yogi means Karma Yogi. Every day we perform undoubtedly karma. Even performing puja is also karma. Performing japa is a karma. Breathing is a karma. Every action is karma. We perform karma alone, nothing else. Is it accompanied, the karma, is it accompanied by jnana idea or a bhakti idea? It's the only thing. Everybody performs karma undoubtedly. Even a jnani performs a karma of thing of vichara. So, karma is a common terminology. In this, Swamiji says, try to understand this word and connection between word and thought. Try to understand the power of word, use that force. Try to understand the ritual. Suppose if you are performing the ritual, if you are not performing ritual, don't at least criticize rituals. So, these two ideas, surprisingly, Swamiji brings in the idea of Karma Yoga, which you don't get in Bhagavad Gita. Not as tangibly as you get it here. Krishna does not try to explain the idea of thought and word. He does not try to explain the symbology because the need of Arjuna was different on the battlefield. There, I think Krishna did not have much time to explain symbology because he wanted him to fight. So I think Swami had plenty of time to explain people in America. He took time to explain all these things in 8 lectures. I think Krishna had few minutes before the commencement of the battle. So he has to do it very fast. So you don't get these ideas. There, here you will understand the very significance of Swamiji's Karma Yoga. These are all ideas of Swamiji. He tried to explain, these are all very, very wonderful ideas. Words themselves are the symbols of thought. You have to ponder on this idea. And in the words, ritualistic symbols, we have the expression of religious thought of humanity. These are all the very unique idea that Swamiji is trying to explain. Of course, he has given only the gist. We have to understand it very, we have to understand the meaning of those words in depth by pondering on those points. Manana. Now, Swamiji begins, connects his previous idea. These two ideas have come in the way. Now he has stopped those ideas. Now he will continue with the idea of duty. Now Swamiji continues, our duty, because he has concluded his previous chapter on duty. Now he continues that idea. Our duty to others means helping others, doing good to the world. Why should we do good to the world? Apparently to help the world. Apparently, torikege. Apparently to help the world, but really to help ourselves. Now he begins the idea of this particular chapter through this message. Apparently to help the world, but really to help ourselves. We should always try to help the world. Why? Why should we help the world? Why should we do good to the world? There are two levels of explanation to this question. We should always try to help the world. That should be the highest motive in us. This is the first level. Please understand, this is the first step, first level. Don't conclude that highest motive to do good to the world is not the highest level of our expression or the evolution. This is only the first step. Highest motive to do good to the world is the highest motive. We need some propelling force to work in this world. Especially men in family cannot do the same work for all 365, 24/7 into 365 with the same attitude. There is no propelling force. Every day we have to cook. We cannot enjoy cooking all the days. Especially in Hindu, we have so many festivals so that you can change the menu. Yugadi, Obbattu, so that you can enjoy Obbattu one in a year. Ganesha Chaturthi, Kwadabu Modaka, you can enjoy, no? Is it not? Every day you say, ask him to prepare rasam and rice, you will get bored. You don't have a motive force to propel you to cook as a karma yogi. You have to understand this. Why Swamiji is saying highest motive? What do you mean by motive? You need some propelling force to work. Swamiji, why are you doing this lecture? Every Sunday it's fixed what to do. Even you may like, speaking frankly, you may like, you may not like speaking, but still you are in an organization. It's a motive force. Sunday 5:45 XYZ, not Swami Mangalanathanandaji. XYZ Swamis are supposed to speak in an organization. You sitting near Narmada, you are there, Ma Narmada is there, Narmade her. Only these two things are there, nothing else. So, trying to do good to the world is a propelling, is the motive. What is that motive? It's the highest motive. Otherwise, you cannot work for others. First, you feel that I am helping him, I am trying to do good to this world. When you have this feeling and work, that is the motive through which, that is the highest motive through which you can work. Otherwise, you cannot do karma. Everybody does according to their need and necessity. This is not a need. Helping the world is not a need and necessity. Earning bread is a need and necessity. Whether you like it or not, you have to do it. But trying to do good to the world is not a necessity. So how to then inculcate, how to make our mind to work towards that end? First, in the first step thing, that is the highest motive. But that is not the highest. For a beginner, that is the highest motive. Because Swamiji has to extend it still. There is a lot of things to come. If a Vedanti says he considers this word as mithya, where is the highest motive? That's why a Jnani has no motive to work here. Because when you consider this word as mithya, kutra, there is neither good nor evil. So he cannot work. That's why first feel that you are trying to do good to the world. That will be the highest motive that propels you to do good. So consider this is the first step. Now, Swamiji continues. If I remember, if you remember one story which I narrated long back, some sailors who set up a rescue camp on a seashore where many shipwrecks used to happen, because that area had a lot of storm, wind, many times. So, on many occasions, the small boats used to capsize, struck in a storm. So, to help those people struck in the storm or wind, to avoid, not to avoid, or to help those people who were caught in shipwrecks or capsize of the boats, they set up a rescue camp on a seashore. 3 or 4 people were interested in working for them. They started rescuing people, and their name and fame went up. All the people in and around that sea came to know that these people are helping people who are caught in the shipwreck or boat capsize, etc. Then they came and started an organization. The organization grew. They started building the building. And the story continues. I have told the story long back. The story continues. Every day there will not be a shipwreck. Every day there will not be a shipwreck. Occasionally there will be a shipwreck. Either let us say statistically, 15 days, Purnime, on full moon day there will be there. So twice in a month, Amvase and Hunnime. So other 14 days, we are free. So what happened? So many people, once you start an organization, so many people came, so many became members because of the famous of the 4 people who started this organization. So many people want to be a member of that organization. So many people came. They all wore that badge that we are the volunteers of great organization who help in shipwrecks, XYZ, name of the organization. So many people came. They built a big luxurious building with wonderful red carpet And the story goes, even if they started rescuing the people who caught in the shipwreck, when they were brought to the rooms, the carpet were all with fur. They did not want to make them sleep on the fur. They made him to sleep on the sand outside, because these furs are costly. These carpet are very costly. We cannot make him to sit. It's all salty water. So, then when you have time, what they did? It got converted into a local club. 14 days you are free. What you will do? You start playing some games. And they totally forgot about the helping the people in shipwreck. Then what happened? Those who started this organization started objecting the way we are moving. And because the majority wanted a club, they removed the beginners. They said, you go out. We have built this organization. We have built the building. We have brought donation. Swamiji, mere ichinnar kada donation meeku dabbu ichinnar kada. So we have brought that donation. We have given the donation. We have helped you to run this school. People say, you are not helping us. Then these 4 people who started the organization were kicked out of the organization. They again went outside and started with a small hut. Again their name and fame went. Again one organization came. Again so many people came. Again same history rotated. Finally what happened? Concluding says, if you happen to visit that area today, you will find a number of exclusive clubs dotting the shoreline. Each one of them is justifiably proud of its origin and its tradition. Shipwrecks still occur in those parts, but nobody seems to care much. Shipwrecks, there are so many clubs in that name. Everybody is proud of their past and tradition. Shipwrecks do happen even now, but nobody cares much, because there is no propelling force. Trying to do good should be the motive. That is the highest motive. If you don't have a motive, you cannot work for others. It's only a first step. Now that's why Swamiji continues. This word, we find the word does not, next Swamiji says, but if we consider well, we find that word does not require our help at all. What did Swamiji say? It's the highest motive. But what is the contrary to this idea? This word does not require our help at all. That's why I said highest motive. It's only first step. Your motive is to do good, to help, but word does not require you. Even Krishna is not there. You see, he gave Bhagavad Gita and went away. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gave and went away. Vivekananda, there nobody is here. So this word does not require anybody. I will explain. If you say, Swamiji, what about Avatara? Swamiji will give explanation at the last part. So this word does not require our help at all. This word was not made that you and I should come and help it. Swamiji says, I once read a sermon in which it was said, all this beautiful word is very good because it gives us time and opportunity to help us. This is apparently good, but it's a blasphemy to think that we are trying to help the world. No word requires anybody's help. Swamiji gives 2-3 nice explanation of this. What do you mean by this word does not require our help? What do you mean by it? What do you mean by this word does not require help? Where Ramakrishna Mission has come, if you put it very logically. Till 1897 there was no Ramakrishna Mission, is it not? Then Ramakrishna Mission gave. Every year we publish a general report. So many lakhs students got educated from institution. So many lakhs were helped through primary, through hospital, etc. Are you not helping Swamiji? Are you not helping the people? But Swamiji says, this word does not require your help. It gives us time and opportunity to help others. Apparently this is a very beautiful sentiment. But is it not a blasphemy to say that the word needs our help? But what about all your activities? Swamiji will explain what do you mean by this word and how to understand it. That's why the first step is have the highest motive to help others. Now that's why Swamiji gives an example. As a boy, Narendranath had mice. So in front of mice there was kept a small wheel. whenever the mice tried to move, the wheel started rotating. However much the mice tried, it used to stay in the same place because the wheel used to rotate. Even after doing for half an hour, walking for half an hour, the mice, it used to stay in the same place. In the same way, whatever may be your service to the world, that world remains static. This word is neither so. Now Swamiji concludes this idea, says, the only help is that we get moral exercise. This word is neither good nor evil. Please underline this statement. You may know it. You might have read it, but try to understand it. This word is neither good nor evil. Everybody knows this, but try to understand this. This word is neither good nor evil. A Gnani should understand this. A Karma Yogi must understand this. If a Gnani has a different perspective altogether, but a Karma Yogi must understand. Those who are trying to do with an organization should always understand this. This word is neither good nor evil. Then Swamiji, what about India, corrupted country, one of the corrupted country? This word is neither good nor evil. Swamiji, so many conversations are happening in every religion. What you would say? This word is neither good nor evil. Swamiji, no, modern young boys and girls are not at all concerned about culture. This word is neither good nor evil. Why I am stressing this? So many complaints you hear. But understand this word. This word is neither good nor evil. Swamiji, that's why I am going step by step very slowly. Because he concludes this idea with wonderful statements. So Swamiji says, how do you say that this word is neither good nor evil? He gives an example of a blind man. If a blind man begins to think of the word, he has not seen this objective word. Whatever he sees, he has through his abstract imagination. So, if a blind man begins to think of the word, it is either as soft or hard, or as cold or hot. So, he can understand this word only in this, the sense of touch. It should be hard or soft, cold or hot. Nothing apart from that. He also has got his own word. So, Swamiji says, we are a mass of happiness or misery. Then Swamiji continues, he gives young men are all optimistic, older people are pessimistic, etc., those ideas. Then Swamiji says, life is good or evil according to the state of mind in which we look at it. It is neither by itself. According to the state of the mind. I will read a bit further and come back to the same point afterwards. So, he gives the example of a fire. Somebody who has cooked a food says, fire is very wonderful. Somebody has burnt himself, or the fire has burnt some family or the house. They say, evil, fire is evil. But fire in itself is neither good nor evil. So, coming back to this point, life is good or evil according to the state of mind in which we look at it. It is neither by itself. I will give a very ordinary, a day-to-day example. Suppose you are coming to Ramakrishna Math to attend Aarti at 7, evening Aarti, let us say. Let us say you came by a public taxi or a public auto rickshaw, some public transport you took. So, when he came near the gate, got out of the auto or the taxi, let us say it was hardly 150 rupees or 200 rupees. Let us say he demanded 500 rupees from you. And he said, I will not leave you unless you give rupees 500. You also shouted at him, he also shouted at him, and your mind was totally disturbed. Then you thought, this world and this fellow are very evil. ಯಾರು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವರೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. Everybody tries to extract money. You compare going to, you have been to Vrindavan, you had been to Mathura, you had been to Puri, Jagannatha. Every step that Panda will ask you to pay money. Otherwise, he will not allow you to go one step further, especially in Puri. Taka in Puri, Jagannatha. So you are so much fed up, you think he is evil. So afterwards, you are in a disturbed state of mind. You criticized, and even you might have used some abused language also, let us say, depending on their mental state. After coming to Ramakrishna Ashrama, then you sat, some Swami singing, Kandana, then slowly merging yourself into Kandana, Ombremrutam, Prakritim, Sarvamangala. Your mind became very still. And then even you, fortunately that day when you came, that Swami sang the same song that you expected to sing. Oh, you liked Krishna, he sang 3 Krishna songs. Somebody liked Rama, Swami sang the 3 Rama songs. You are so much happy. Then you did not feel like getting up after Arti. You sat till 8:30. So much serene. Then again you went out. The same auto, rickshawala, the taxiwala is standing there. Then you asked him, will you drop me back home? He dropped. It's the same 200 rupees. Then he said 500. You are in a different mood. You took a 500. Chalo yaar. I don't want to be disturbed by this mood. You gave him 500 and went to home, took food, opened complete verse of Swami Vivekananda and started. Mangalanatha told to ponder on this point. I will ponder on this point. What is like? So, every action depends on the state of mind, evil or good, not by itself. This I gave common example. So, when you do karma yoga, you should be very much analyze yourself. Every moment, a gnani or a bhakta or a yogi, karma yogi, always try to analyze who is. I will try, if time permits, I will bring little Manduke Karika if possible. How they analyze, very wonderful. It gives how to understand. I will complete one more sentence here. So, Swamiji says at the last 2-3 lines, he concluded, this word is neither good nor evil. Then Swamiji says a very wonderful statement. This word is perfect. Swamiji says this is perfect. Generally, we apply this word or we use the word, the perfect, word of perfection, perfect only to God or Atman. But Swamiji says, this word is perfect. How can you say this word is perfect? Swamiji says, by perfection is meant that is perfectly fitted to meet its end. Then what does it mean? It does not require you to help. Every want is supplemented by its desire. Whatever want that arises in this world is supplemented by God or by Almighty. So it does not require your help to supplement that want. So what do you mean by perfection is meant that is perfectly fitted to meet its own end. There is some requirement. That requirement will be fulfilled by some certain end by itself. If you interfere with the highest motive, you are blessed. If you don't interfere, it will happen by itself. It does not require you or me to do anything. That is the meaning of perfection, Swamiji says. Perfection is meant that is perfectly fitted to meet its ends. You have to underline this sentence also. Very important. We may all be perfectly sure that it will go on beautifully well without us, and we need not bother our heads wishing to help it. Now, if you want to do karma yoga, it starts with changing our attitude, trying to do good to the world as the highest motive, and think that this world is neither evil or bad, it is perfect by itself. With this condition only you can really perform karma yoga, otherwise it is not at all possible to do karma yoga. Now, Swamiji says, he continues, yet we must do good. The desire to do good is the highest motive power we have. If we know all the time that it is a privilege to help others, Swamiji says, Do not stand on a pedestal and try to help some beggar by giving some money and say, you be blessed that I am able to give some money. Swamiji says, it is not the receiver that is blessed, but it is the giver. These are statements nice to hear, but difficult to practice. Even I have heard Swamis at their last stage of their lives, they say, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. I am telling you, monks, not householders. So many people I heard, very few have turned back. If you are real karma yogi, remember, it is not the receiver that is blessed, but it is the giver. One of, during late 80s, few young men from medical services, they were in house urgency. They somehow came upon the idea of Karma Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. They read, 3-4 people, they read Karma Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. They were inspired to do some work. Then they selected a tribal colony and they went all the way, those days they didn't have much vehicle to go. They borrowed some 2-3 scooter or bike and went to that place, borrowed with some help from their HODs or principal. They took some physician sample, the medicines. Along with the medicines, in a bike, they all went to a tribal colony to help them. And they announced that we have come to do medical service on this Sunday here. They went to each house and announced that we are here to help you. If you have any health issues, please come get treated. We are here to help you and we give free medicines also. They took a portable table also. They arranged in one particular place in the tribal colony. None turned up. None of them turned up. They were so much agitated and angry, and we are here to help you and you are not coming. Then in the initial stages they had this idea. Later when their organization grew, then they understood it is we who went there to help. They did not require our help at all. You meddled in their business. Is it not? Then why are you criticizing those people who did not turn up? It's only a highest motive from your side. The world does not require you. If you are going on yourself, accept them as they are. Then only you can do it happily. If you don't, nobody comes, sit in a corner of a tree, below a tree, enjoy meditation if it's possible. Or if you are possible, you start reading, spend time, come out. Why do you expect that they should shower all... and there is one more problem with saffron color. If you want to do service with this color, so there are so many problems. What they do, people will do, seeing this cloth in all villages, so they will very reverentially do pranam, but never hear you what you say. So that's a practical idea. And one more thing, this Swami also gets elected. And if somebody does not do pranam, then he will be feeling so depressed. Nobody did pranams. So much problem is there wearing this cloth and working in a society. So that's why, if you have all these experiences in life and start reading Swami Vivekananda, then you will understand the meaning of every statement the Swamiji makes. It is not the receiver that is blessed, but it is the giver. Don't be open. So, Swamiji that's why says, all good acts tends to make us pure and perfect. What can we do at best? Every action, what does it leads to finally Karma Yoga? What is the aim of Karma Yoga? Is Gnana. Swamiji very particularly in the beginning itself said, the goal of all is knowledge. And karma also, the goal of karma is Gnanam, not karma. We perform karma to attain Gnanam. What is the effect of this karma? If you have a highest motive power, is Chitta Shuddhi. So Swamiji says, at most what you can do, let us say, Swamiji, where I think he also knew, even those days also bribery and all malpractices used to happen, I think. Swamiji says, you better build a big hospitals or road. He says, you collect $3 million. With $1 million, construct a hospital. $2 million, enjoying champagne, taking drinks and in language. Swamiji says this. and in the remaining $1 million, 50% you take it as a bribe. Swami says here. Another half part of that million you distribute among the poor. So what is the outcome? One volcano or one corona will bring down all your hospitals. In 5 minutes, corona 2 years, nobody could even move. If you bring that virus of the whole world, it's not even a teaspoon. Virus is too small. If they bring the whole virus of the whole world that got affected, lakhs of people were affected, is it not? If you bring it on it will not even equal to a teaspoon. So, one corona is sufficient to bring down all your noble acts, all your hospitals, all your roads, etc. That's why it can completely sweep it. So, that's why Swamiji says, yet we must work and constantly do good. If you don't have a motive power, then you cannot. Then you will become cynical. There is nothing. After doing all these things, what will happen, Swamiji? Nothing. Let us do nothing. Yen mada Swamiji. So, to avoid cynical attitude, you should have highest motive power to do good to world and understand this world is neither good nor evil. It is perfect by itself. So, Swamiji says, that is the only way we can become perfect. There is no other way to become perfect. If you want to be perfect, have this highest motive and to practice it. That is the only way you can. No beggar whom we have helped has ever owed a single cent to us. We owe everything to him because he has allowed us to exercise our charity on him. So Swamiji still more continues and says, it is a foolish thought to think that we have helped people. It is a foolish thought. And please remember, please hear it properly, all foolish thoughts bring misery. All foolish thoughts bring misery. Please remember this. If you are miserable, think that there are some foolish ideas hidden in us. If you are happy, there are noble highest motive propelling us to work. So you are happy. Is there some misery? There is some foolish idea or thought hidden inside. Try to clean it, that's all, by helping others. So, never will unhappiness or misery come through work done without attachment. Now he brings the final statement. Never will unhappiness or misery come through work done without attachment. The world will go on with its happiness and misery throughout eternity. This evil and good in this will go on eternity. But if you want to be happy, do it with unattachment. How? Thinking on all these ideas. The main problem here is Madi, me and mine, is it not? For a karma yogi, when he identifies this karma with this body and mind, gone. Me and mine, even for a Gnana yogi, this Dehatma Buddhi will lead to Kartatva and Bhoktrutva. For a karma, if he identifies his body and mind, will lead to the idea that I am helping the people. Both ways. That's why, to give a bit of understanding, what is the adhisthana for this word? Substratum? Yes, Brahman. According to, I will give a bit of analysis that is begun in Mandukya. They start with this analysis. Of course, they will not try, will explain, it's a further explanation. I will give a bit summary of that, to give an idea of analyzing things. There, the adhisthana of this word is Brahman. What is the nature of this Brahman? Pragnana. What is the nature of this? What is the adhisthana? Brahma. So this Brahma, the nature of this Brahma is Pragnana. What is the difference between Gnana and Pragnana? It's very important, especially in Vedanta, you have to catch the core meaning of every word. Then only you will understand the essence. What is the difference between Gnana and Pragnana? Prakrishta Gnanam iti Pragnana. Special knowledge. Vishesha Gnana is called Pragnana. What do you mean by Vishesha Gnana? I have a mic in front of this. So I say, this is a mic. there is a box. I say, this is a box. There is a table. This is a table. This is a book. So then what do you mean by a book? It is the object. I am having the knowledge of this object. This becomes Gneya Vastu, the object to be known. Gneya Vastu. Who is knowing this? It is me, Gnata. So in every knowledge you see knowledge of a book, knowledge of a mic, knowledge of a box, knowledge of a table, knowledge of a XYZ. That knowledge of the object is a Gneya Vastu, and I become the Gnata. Always in the objective sense, there remains always a duality. Gnata and Gneya. Remove Gnata and Gneya. What remains? Chaitanya, which is called the pure consciousness, which is knowledge itself, apart from the objects. You need some time to understand this. Without relating the consciousness to any object, the knowledge in itself is called Prajnana, which is me, the pure consciousness. That's why it is the word, another name for, of course, the Sanskrit word for God is Paramatma. What do you mean by Paramatma? Para-atma, Param-atma. What do you mean by para? Generally we understand para is beyond. No, para is not beyond. The meaning of word para is antara, antarya. That which is pratyagatman is Paramatma. Para-atma, Paramatma, pratyagatma. Para means inside, antara, antarya. One who is inside. That's why that is Prajnana, Prakrishta Gnana. What mean? Without relating, it is knowledge itself, Gnanam eva. What do you mean by Gnana? Apart from it, nothing is there. Pure consciousness. If you relate it, it becomes the Gnana, Gnata and Gneya. If you don't relate it to anything, it is Chaitanyam itself, pure consciousness. That is Paramatma, Pratyagatma. Now, they, only 2-3 minutes left. Then, of course, this is just an introduction. It comes in the first Mangala Stotra of Mandukya. First word is Prajnana only in that Mangala Charana, in Mandukya Karika. So, when they start analyzing this three avastha, Jagra, Swapna, Shushupti, the analysis itself is so wonderful. You just close your eyes. Imagine. What to imagine? Every day we have three states. One is Jagrata Avastha, second is Swapna Avastha, third is Sushupti Avastha. In a Jagrata Avastha, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, all are active. In a Swapna Avastha, Annamaya Kosha is silent, inert. But Manomaya Kosha is working because you see dreams. In Sushupti, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya, Manomaya, everything is covered by Ajnana. Hence, we have once you wake up, you have the experience of two things. After coming out of Sushupti, you have experience of two things. What are those two things? One is experience of Ajnana and the experience of Sukha, which is Anandamaya Kosha. In Sushupti, we have two experiences. One is that I didn't know anything. I slept very nicely, I didn't know anything. That knowledge of not knowing anything is the knowledge of Ajnana. That we could know through inference in the waking state. So, when we have a knowledge of these two things in Anandamaya Kosha, when we are in Sushupti, that's why they say, but Ekatma Pratyaya Saram, in all these states, I remains the same. It is I who had Jagrata Avastha. It is I who had Swapna. It is I who had Sushupti. So in all these states are like garments that you wear every day. You are the Chaitanya Pragnana. You meditate on Sushupti. Indication is meditate on Sushupti. Of course, there are all explanations by so many saints. You need some time. A separate time apart from all your objectification. You need your time for yourself to understand this. I gave just a summary, a bit of introduction. Analysis. Karma Yogi also has to analyze a lot of things, not just doing karma and try to help. So, you just see that wonderful thing. You see, before going to bed, sit on the bed and think, who is that who is going to sleep? Who is that who is working on this? When you say this body and mind, refer to this, gone. It is not this body and this mind. It is because of the Chaitanya. You have all these experiences. The Chaitanya is Paramatma, it is Pragnana. This is consciousness, which is knowledge itself, pure consciousness, which is having this Avasthatraya, three experience, which is like a garment. I am apart from all these things. Then only you will not get mamakara, mine and my, me and mine. For a Gnani. So he will try to analyze. That's why many commentaries on Mandukya Karika, important commentary, they say, you try to meditate on Sushupti. You will understand what a glorious thing. What happens there? Who is there? Mind is also not there. Buddhi is not also not. It is covered by Ajnana. Who is there in Sushupti? This body and mind, you are so much attached to this. Especially, of course, this word is neither good nor evil. Just to give a statement of facts. They color their dead matter, hair, green, red, yellow, blue, like a chameleon. Every day there will be different colors. Color, what color? This itself has no existence in Sushupti. No jati. In Sushupti, no jati. In Sushupti, there is no gender. Who male? Do you consider that you are a male or a woman? I am a monk, I am a soldier. I am this jati. What is there in Sushupti? Completely Ajnanam. Experience of Sukham only when you wake up. Who is that in that state? That is the analysis statement that they take to that Prasthana, Avasthatraya in Mandukya Karika. Swami says in Karma Yoga, he takes that line of argument, puts it, this word itself is perfect. Neither good nor evil. It depends on the mental state, goodness or badness of this word. And though it may be evil, a Buddha can convert Angulimala into a good because he had the state of mind to see goodness in everybody. If you have an evil, then you will have Angulimala killing your throat. For a Buddha, he did not kill his throat. So that's why this word depends on the state of mind. For a Gnani, this word is mithya because the state, Atman, is only the true, absolute reality. With this, let us continue next Sunday, Karma Yoga. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.